That's wonderful because I'm trying to simplify life now and not having a mortgage payment. That was key to my future.
Mm.
I'm still working now. I'm still thriving and I love what I do. And I don't plan on retiring anytime soon, but my life is in order now and I'm prepared for when that day comes.
Hello, this is Matt Helton with One Trust Home Loans, your reverse mortgage experts, and you found the Serving Seniors podcast, where we highlight those businesses and individuals that help seniors not just get by, not just survive, but thrive in retirement. And today we have a very unique podcast. We actually have a business/testimonial from one of our good friends that's actually went through this process recently. We have Miss Maureen Kinzer. Now, Maureen is a 30-year real estate veteran that recently downsized and used some of our unique senior lending options to do that. And she'd love to share her story and how it worked for her. Maureen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being here. Have you thawed out yet?
Yeah, pretty much. We finally got out yesterday, so my driveway's been pretty icy, but did manage to get out yesterday, and it was great to see civilization.
Okay. Yeah, depending on when you're listening to this, we just had anywhere between 3 to 6 inches of ice and snow here all over Middle Tennessee, so we're getting back to normal.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Getting back to normal. Well, I really do appreciate you being here, and I'd love for you to maybe share a little bit about your journey, how you got into real estate. Sounds like you've been in for around 30 years, and then maybe your journey to selling your house and downsizing and getting into the beautiful home that I see you in today.
Yes, I've been in real estate for over 30 years, and I've dealt with anyone from first-time home buyers up to luxury homes. And my main thing now that I would like to do is help seniors, Matt. I just went through an experience of selling my home. It was our family home. Had it for 31 years.
Wow.
Long time. And with that comes a lot of emotion. And, you've built up so many memories in your home. And, you've raised your children and you've had all your grandkids come for different holidays. And we had a pool and the kids would love to come swim and parties. And 31 years of memories.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to think about, am I going to sell this house? You're thinking you're selling all these memories with it. Mm-hmm. And so it was a major decision for me to make. But at this time in my life, the maintenance of that house, and I was still young enough to be in the process of wanting to sell it and have the energy to sell it. Mm-hmm. I realized it came the purging of a home that you've owned for 31 years. And then I also had to get my family on board to see what they thought. Would it be okay? And when everyone was on board with it, they thought it was a good idea at this time for me. And then I went through the process.
Okay.
And
what were some of the emotions that you dealt with through that?
Well, one of them was just giving up your memories. That was one of them. The other one was, where am I going? What am I do next? And then with that came the emotion of finances. Okay, what am I going to be able to afford? What type of loan am I going to be able to get? And so those were major things. I knew all about the real estate industry, how I was going to market my house, home inspections, repairs, everything that comes along with selling a house. But when it came down to where am I going and my finances, I really needed someone that was professional and that knew all about the different loans out there and what was going to be best for me and my life. And that's where you came in, Matt. You were wonderful with telling me everything about my options. We figured out what I was going to make out of the house, what I could make out of the house, best and worst case scenarios, and how much I was going to need to do each different type of loan. So that being said, I ended up doing the reverse mortgage loan.
Okay.
And the reason I did that was because, well, first of all, in the past, I always thought as a realtor that these reverse mortgages, the bank owns your house.
Mm.
You paid the bank X amount of dollars, you went into this reverse mortgage, and you no longer owned your home or your new home. Well, with your knowledge and my understanding of what I was doing, that is no longer the case.
Right.
You can sell your house. You can put X amount of dollars down per your purchase. You have to have a certain amount per the amount needed for a purchase. And then after that, you don't have a mortgage anymore.
Mm.
And so my thing about that was that's wonderful because I'm trying to simplify life now, and not having a mortgage payment, that was key to my future.
Mm.
I'm still working now. I'm still thriving, and I love what I do, and I don't plan on retiring anytime soon, but my life is in order now, and I'm prepared for when that day comes.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it sounds like you were able to downsize and the amount of space, right? The land, the size of the house that you're having to take care of. And you actually got a new home, right? So you got smaller space, less maintenance, but you also downsized your budget because you went from a mortgage payment that you had to make every single month to now you have a payment that's zero. You can make a payment if you want to, but you don't have to. So it sounds like you downsized your budget and your house. Is that accurate?
It is accurate. And the beauty of it all is you go through all this emotion of selling something that you've had for so long and so many memories. But guess what? This year, I had my first Thanksgiving here with my family. We made the memories. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. And then we had Christmas here. The kids loved it. We had a great time. We made more memories. So the thing that you don't need to get so hooked up on is that you're not going to make any more memories, or your memories are gone. You carry those memories in your heart wherever you go, and wherever your family comes where you're at, you're making more memories. So it's been a beautiful experience. I love where I live now. It was the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. And I'm really, really happy. And now that I've done this, I would love to work with seniors that are going through the process of possibly having to sell their homes, their financial situation. I've walked the walk, and I know what they're going through, and I know what they're feeling.
Wow.
So I would like to put my name out there, Maureen Kinzer. I'm with Reliant Realty. My phone number is 615-300-0496. And I would love to have the opportunity to walk with you in the process of selling your home and trying to find you something that's
awesome.
suitable for you at this stage of life.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it sounds like you're perfectly suited to do that because if you think through it, right, 30 years of contracts and experience and scenarios and real estate, just, that adds up over time. So there's no scenario you haven't seen, but you hadn't gone through it as a consumer. So now you can marry the expertise in the real estate side with your emotional, the consumer side of it, and you're perfectly positioned to be able to help people walk through that process. So that's awesome that you've done that.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you. And thank you so much. I have to do kudos to you because you were a wonderful financial advisor. You walked me through the process, and it was as smooth as it could have been.
That's so cool.
Thank you for that.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome because, a lot of people know, Maureen, they know of reverse mortgage, right? They know of maybe even some bad things in the past. They understand, though, that reverse mortgage means you get a loan on the house and you don't have a payment. Now, they don't know all the details, but most people assume it is I've owned a home for 30 years. It's almost paid off or paid off. I'm getting a mortgage on the house. That's what most people know. Or besides, they know Tom Selleck, right? They've seen the commercials. That's the two things they know. But in this scenario, right, just to so make sure everyone understands is we did a reverse mortgage for purchase, meaning you sold your house, right? You were making a bunch of money on it, but it wasn't completely paid off. So you sold your house, the mortgage went away. You took that large down payment, moved that over to a new construction, townhome, no maintenance, etc. But instead of borrowing money to as a payment, you were able to do a reverse mortgage. So we underwrote the reverse mortgage while you're under contract. So you took the down payment from the old house that you made, put it on the new house, and we were even able to give you a big enough loan where you're able to put some money back in your pocket, right? So you got liquid. So you got some money back, and you borrowed money against the new house, but now you do not have a monthly payment. So thus reverse mortgage, but you did it as part of the purchase and got some money back. So you right-sized your property and you right-sized your budget, where that way, if you ever decide that you want to stop working, not that you're going to, but if you decide you want to, you can, because now you can make a 0 monthly payment on your house.
Exactly, Matt. Exactly.
Wow.
It just worked out so perfectly. And I just want to get word out about this to people because, they don't, if they're not involved in it, or if they've not heard it, or if they've heard some old things about reverse mortgages, they're afraid to even, look into that program. And I want people to know it's totally different than what they might be thinking. And it was the best route for me.
Makes
And
sense.
I think it might be the best route for a lot of other people. And that's why I want to share it.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. So a little background, just so you know, if you're watching and listening, you've probably heard of FHA mortgages in the past. So FHA used to be one of the only or main loans available. So FHA was all designed to get your first house and get your foot in the door and get home ownership going. But FHA decided at some point there was more to just getting a house. How can you keep up your house? How can you stay in your house? And then, oh, by the way, how can you afford to retire when you own a house? So FHA decided to create the senior side of FHA, which is called the Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. So there's the FHA. What most people know about is the 203B. This is the HECM, Home Equity Conversion side. So it is an FHA mortgage, just like any other FHA loan. Like Maureen said earlier, you still own your house. You can still sell your house. You can still pass your home on to the kids. It's just that you're not forced to make a huge monthly payment every month. You can make a 0 payment if you want to. Now, there is a downside, right? If you don't make a payment, it's not a free lunch. The interest, they just add it to the balance. So your balance can go up. That's the reason why you need a large down payment. So you have to put a bunch of money down so that way you have room. Most people have to put, 50, 60, 70% down. That's why you're selling a home, making a bunch of money and putting it down. And in Maureen's scenario, if this program hadn't been available, this may not have been an option for her, right? Because she would have had to borrow such a large amount of money in the high interest rate environment that it may not have made sense for her to make this move. So, this program made this move possible for her financially, but also too, it made it comfortable in her budget. So that way she can plan ahead, for the future.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Great stuff.
I'm so glad it worked out. So if this is something you would like to explore, it's not really a loan process. It's more of an educational process, right? Because we understand in your mind, you borrow money, you make payments. So it's a completely different way of thinking. So if you're watching this, you're like, this could be interesting. I'd like to learn more. It is strictly educational. All we do is look at your age and we look at your scenario. And from that, without doing any credit or anything like that, we could run some just general numbers for you. So you can start to learn how this works to see if this can make your retirement the type of retirement that you've always thought of, but also the type that can actually have you out having fun, being able to travel, spending money, and spoiling the grandkids. Or some of you may just need to, how do I pay my taxes? How do I pay my insurance? How do I cover my bills? So either way, we'd love to educate you on how this could fit your scenario. So Maureen, anything that we should have asked you that we didn't ask you?
No, I think we've covered it all. Just that, I really would love to help people. I feel like I can walk the walk and feel how they're feeling now, being that I've experienced this myself. So, anyway, it's just been a great, great process.
Very well said. Yeah, the mentor or coach that's designed to help people, the best ones are ones that just walked through what they're about to walk through. And since you just did it, you've got that fresh on your mind. You're perfectly positioned to be able to help people. So I'm so glad that you wanted to do this, and so glad you jumped on here today.
Oh, thanks so much, Matt.
Thank you.
Been a great, great talk.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for watching the Serving Seniors podcast, where we highlight these awesome clients and businesses that help seniors thrive in retirement. Please make sure that you like the show, share it with your friends, share it with your family, and we're always here to help any way we can. Thanks again. Have a great day. We'll talk with you soon. Hey, this is Matt Helton with OneTrust Home Loans, home of retirement mortgage solutions. And we really do appreciate you checking out the Serving Seniors podcast today. Now, please go to the description down in the body of the podcast where you can subscribe to get future shows. Please click that notification button so you get notified when other shows drop. And also, if you can go to servingseniorspodcast.com, and we'd love to hear a comment about our show. We have a heart to serve seniors, and we have a heart to make sure seniors don't just survive retirement, don't just get by in retirement. We want to show seniors how to thrive in retirement. So if you know of anyone that's 55 and older that could use some extra cash flow, maybe the retirement's not going the way that they like, our retirement mortgage solutions are designed for folks, and depending on the state, they're either 55 or 62 and older, to make sure that they have that kind of retirement that they want. As long as they own a home and they're in a good equity position, there could be some solutions that they may not have thought about, or maybe they've thought of and they just didn't know how they work. That's what we do. So anyone in that age group that could use some mortgage advice, my team and I would love to be able to help them. Thanks again, and look forward to seeing you on the next show. Have a great day.